Assalamualaikum. We are from Group 8. We'll be presenting about components in transmission line. The transmission line is the long conductor with a special configuration for carrying large amount of induced power from one station to another at very high voltage as per voltage level variation. Our analysis of transmission line will include the component of transmission line such as conductors, insulators, and support structure.
I will explain about the conductor. What is a conductor? Conductors are the material or substances that enable them to flow through electricity. They can conduct electricity because it flows electrons to pass very quickly within them. Conductors have this property of allowing heat or light transfer from one source to another. Many of the conductors are metals, human, rocks, and animal bodies. The main explanation is that our human body, being a good conductor, allows the current to flow from wire to our body through a resistance-free path. Controllers have a free electron on their surface that allow current to pass through. That's the reason conductors are conduct electricity. Here, the example of the conductor. First, silver. Silver is electricity's greatest conductor. It's expensive, and so we don't use silver in manufacturing and electricity transmission. Second, copper, brass, gold, and aluminium are fine electricity conductors. We use these mainly in the form of wires in electrical circuit and system. Third, mercury. Mercury is an outstanding conductor of liquid that finds use in many instruments. Lastly, gases. Gases are not effective conductors of electricity since the particles of matter are very far away and thus they cannot conduct electrons. Next, I will explain application of the conductor. Conductors are quite useful in many ways. They find use in many real-life applications like mercury is a common thermometer component for body temperature tests. Second, aluminium finds use in manufacture of foils to store food and also in the manufacture of fry pans to quickly store heat. Third, iron is common for heat conduction in the manufacture of vehicle engine. Next, an iron plate is made of steel which briskly absorbs heat. Lastly, in a car radiator conductors consider used to remove heat away from the engines. Next, I will explain the difference between solid conductor and stranded conductors. What is solid conductor? Solid conductor is made of one piece of metal wire. This is inexpensive for manufacturing. The skin effect is higher in solid conductors because the current flow on the conductor surface at higher frequencies results in an increase in the effective resistance. The biggest downside of solid wire is its stiffer strength, could not be easily bent. Stranded conductors. What is stranded conductors? Stranded conductors wire is made up of subconductors which touch each other. Compared to solid wire, it is more costly to make. The size of stranded conductor is that are compared to solid wire for the given current carrying capacity. Specific stranded element can be wound together to get the desired patented transmission line. ACSR conductor includes one aluminium and steel strands. Using stranded conductor, the proximity and skin effect is that. Lastly, I will explain the difference between composite conductors and bundled conductor. What is composite conductor? Composite conductor is a subconductors contact each other in composite conductors. Composite conductors are usually conductors that are threaded. Various elements are used in composite conductor, which is aluminium, has the properties of lightweight, strong conductivity, and rootlessness in ACSR conductor, and steel has the property of high tensile resistance. Composite conductors are used because they are versatile compared to solid conductors. Composite conductors minimize the effect of proximity and also to some degree minimize the skin effect. Bundle conductors. What is bundle conductors? Bundle conductors are used in the transmission of extra high voltage EHV, as the corona effect is important at higher voltages. Subconductors are mounted at some distance along the transmission line in bundle conductors. It eliminates degradation of the corona discharge and interfere with the surrounding contact line.
Electric insulators are a very important component in the electric power system, such as substation and distribution and transmission lines. Insulators are the material or substance that resist the current or do not allow it to pass through. Most of them are solid in design and find use in a number of systems. Also, they do not allow heat flow. The property which distinguish insulator from conductor and their resistivity. Insulators are used in electric equipment to support and separate electrical conductor without allowing current through themselves. An insulating material used in a bulk to wire electric cable or other equipment is called insulation. The term insulator is also used more specifically to refer to resulting supports used to attach electrical power, distribution or transmission line to utility poles and transmission tower. They support the wick and the suspend wire without allowing the current to flow through the tower to the ground. Example of insulator. Some of popular examples of insulator are glass. Glass is the best insulator as it has the highest resistivity. Second is plastic. Plastic is a good insulator and is fine, and we are making a number of things. And the last but not least, rubber. Rubber is the common component and for making tires, fire resistant clothes and slippers. This is because it's a very good insulator. Okay, for the advantage, I want to choose one of the example of the insulator. Okay, so I choose glass insulator. Okay, for the advantage of the glass insulator is first, it's a very highly dielectric strength compared to porcelain. Its resistivity is also very high. It has a low coefficient of thermal expansion. For the advantage of the glass insulator is first, moisture can be easily condensed on glass surface and hence adjusts with the deposition on the wet glass surface, which will provide path of the leakage current of the system. Second, for higher voltage glass cannot be cast in the irregular shape since due to irregular cooling, internal strain are caused. Okay, application of the insulator. Being resistive to flow of electron, insulator find application worldwide in a number of ways. Some of the common use include: first, thermal insulator is allow the heat from one position to another. We use them to make thermoplastic bottles, ceilings, and walls which are fireproof. Second is audio insulator. Help to regulate noise level as they are perfect for audio absorbance. Therefore, we use them in homes, meeting center and factory to make them noise free. Okay, for the number 6, electrical insulator obstructs electrons movement or current passage through them. We make extensive use them in a circuit board, highly voltage device, and also insulator wire and cables. What is support structure?
Support structure or line support plays a key role in transmission of electricity. The function is to maintain the proper spacing between conductor and maintain the conductor at a specific distance from the ground section. Other info about supporting structure is the required ground clearance was also maintained. Then, such clearance are determined by electrical and mechanical requirements. There are three examples. Number 1 is proper tangent single circuit frame structure. Number 2, proper single circuit lattice steel structure. And number 3 is proper tangent double circuit lattice steel structure.
As a conclusion, the transmission of electric power is the lifeline for every country. In this study, we had shared about the main components in transmission lines such as conductor, insulator, and support structure. These three components are the most important to every transmission line because they have their own specific limitation to carry an amount of current voltage. Selecting a proper type of components for overhead lines is very important. If not,